Hey guys, what's up? Todd again. Here's your next day of training. So we've talked about your why, your story. We've talked about Shakeology. We've talked about personal development yesterday. Today, one of the biggest struggles that I see new coaches starting off with is making money. Come on in, Alicia. She's going to come in and join me. The biggest issue that I have with coach training and getting coaches started right is helping you guys make money right off the bat. So what I want to talk to you guys about today and what you're going to read about in this email is tapping into what we call your warm market. I hate that term because it's a network marketing term, but it's basically your friends and your family. And what I want you to focus on doing is I want us together, or you and the coach that put you in this training together, to have a conversation with them or have a conversation with me, and let's start a challenge group where we go to some of your friends and family and we say something like, let's say we're going to use Insanity Max 30 for example. We go to your friends and family and we say, hey, I'm getting ready to start this Max 30 group. I'm kind of nervous about it. I'm just looking for some people that might want to join me, hold me accountable. Maybe they might get something out of it, and I didn't know if maybe you'd be interested. The reason why I'm asking you to do it that way, I call it the co-pilot method, where instead of coming to them and saying, hey, I'm a Beachbody coach and I want to coach you through this program, you can say, hey, I'm a Beachbody coach. I just signed up because I love helping people, and I'm kind of starting my first challenge. It's something that I'm going to do myself, and I didn't know if you'd want to do it with me. I'm just kind of nervous about it, need some accountability. That's what I call the co-pilot approach, where it takes the pressure off of you trying to figure out a way of going to them and saying, hey, you look fat, you look out of shape, want to come get in shape with me? Or hey, I'm starting this new challenge group, it's Max 30, you ever heard of it? That just comes across salesy, which I have a feeling, and what I've heard from most of you is that that's the biggest thing that you guys say when you first sign up. I don't want to come across like a salesman. I don't like doing sales. I suck at sales. Bottom line, this business is, whether you like it or not, this is a sales business. What we're trying to teach you is the right way to do sales so that you don't feel icky about it. Because think about this. You never know whose destiny you hold in your hands. So if there's somebody out there that needs to lose 30 or 40 pounds, this isn't like selling Mary Kay or Tupperware or magazine subscriptions or life insurance or a car. This is something that's literally going to either change and possibly save that person's life. We're talking about self-confidence issues and that kind of stuff. So when you're doing the co-pilot approach, you don't come across like a salesy person. Car salesman is not going to come up to you and go, hey, I'm thinking about buying a new car. I want to buy one so we'll have the same car. You don't see that. But in this business, that's a successful approach that I have found that's been useful, and it's something that I think is easy for new coaches to use. Anything you want to add to that?
No, I think a lot of people are still on their journey, so I think it's a great way to approach someone who you may be a coach and you may not be the ideal weight you want to be, and that's fine. Not every Beachbody coach is a supermodel. So I think it's a great way to say, hey, I'm still on my fitness journey. I'm going to do another round of, Insanity Max 30, and I need some help. I need some accountability, like you said.
Yeah, I like what you just said, because most of you, a lot of you were customers that became coaches, which we're going to talk about later on in the training. But I'm going to bet, like she said, that most of you aren't where you want to be. You still have some road left to go on the journey. Newsflash, the journey never ends.
It never ends. Yeah, I mean,
so
we're both still
there's
on the
always
journey.
going to be road to travel. So the co-pilot approach is always something that's useful. So like if you've done 21 Day Fix, for example, and you're like, hey, we tie this into your story, which we talked about in a couple of emails ago about coming up with your story. This is where your story comes into play, because you can say, hey, I lost 20 pounds doing the 21 Day Fix. I've done a couple of rounds of it. I love the way it makes me feel. I'm ready to take that plunge. I'm thinking about trying the 21 Day Fix Extreme. I want to take it up a notch. And maybe you know some people that have done 21 Day Fix and you want to ask them to come on that journey with you. Or maybe you just want to do another round of 21 Day Fix and you use your story to approach some of your friends and family to say, hey, would you guys want to do this with me? I could use I'd like to have the accountability. So.
And there's something that I hear you say a lot that I don't think you realize you say, and you say it in a way that wants to include somebody, but just for example, you just started Asylum Volume 2, and you say to people all the time, hey man, I'm getting ready to do a round of Asylum Volume 2, you should join me and do that with me.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, hey, let's get you on Beachbody on Demand and do this for, it's nothing like that. It's like, I'm going to do this, you should join me and do it with me. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I've never been slapped or punched or
Right.
been accused of calling them fat when I say that.
Right.
So that's the other thing. It's like
Or
people
being like you're trying to sell them anything.
Right, and that's one of the questions we had the other day on one of our calls. It's like people are like, how do I approach people without coming across like I'm calling them fat? There's your answer. So now once you do that, the second part of this video is once you do that and you go and approach somebody and they commit, and we're talking about your warm market, your friends and family. These are people that you already have relationships with and that you already know. So what I'm going to ask you to do at this point is when you approach somebody and they say yes, I want you to have a real talk. I call it the real conversation, real talk, whatever you want, either one of those. Pick whichever one you like better. But you want to sit down with them or get on the phone with them and just say, hey, once they've committed, you're like, hey, before we start this journey, do you mind if we just have a quick talk real quick, because I kind of want to see where your head's at, what you want to get out of this. I know what I want to get out of it. What do you want to get out of it? And I just want to know that we can hold each other accountable to our goals. And when you have that real conversation with somebody, feel free to share with them what your goals are, because if you are taking the co-pilot approach, let them know what it is you're hoping to get out of it and share with them why. Give them details so that they're invested in you just like you're about to be invested in them once you have the conversation I'm getting ready to teach you to have. So what I want you to do is have the dog and the cat are playing in the background, so that's what you hear and that's why she's laughing. What I want you to do is say, hey, do I have permission for us to have a candid conversation about what we're about to embark on? And they're going to obviously say yes because they've committed to doing this with you. What I want you to ask them is, okay, tell me what you want to get out of this. If, for example, they say, I want to lose 30 pounds, you need to find out what that 30 pounds looks like. You need to find the emotional connection to what it is they want out of this program and out of this journey and this challenge group. It's got to have emotional hot button to it, which is what you're going to use as accountability partner and as their coach to keep them motivated on the days that they don't want to work out. So if it's, I want to lose 30 pounds, okay, great. Tell me what that 30 pounds looks like. Maybe it's getting back into a size 8 jeans or a size 4 jeans, or maybe it's getting back to what they used to look like before they had a baby if it's a lady. Maybe it's a wife or a husband who's insecure in the way they look, and maybe it's affecting their sex life. Maybe they just don't have a happy marriage because they don't feel good about themselves. Maybe they lost their parents at a young age due to a heart attack or cancer or diabetes or something that could have been avoided had they had the option to do something like this.
And most of the time this goes deeper than, I've got a wedding to be in May, or I'm going on a cruise in June. Like, it's deeper than that. So if people give you that answer, that's great, but try to dig a little deeper than that.
Yeah, and remember, you asked permission to have a candid conversation with them. So there is no, once you enter that realm, all bets are off. You're allowed to have a real conversation, which is why I call it that. And find out, like if you ever listen to Shaun T's podcast, and if you haven't, I encourage you to, he talks about things in his podcast that most people aren't talking about in everyday life, about being naked in front of your people. And we just did a 2-part series on being naked. He talks about, he did a whole interview with a lady who lost a bunch of weight and had the surgery to remove the extra skin, which is something that we deal with in his business. We had somebody talk about being a plus size coach and what's it like to be a plus size person that struggles getting down, breaking that plateau. Like, there's emotional reasons, and if you don't tap into those, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to finish because there's no motivation for them. There's no finish line. There's nobody that understands them and wants to, and is invested in them, that wants to get them to that finish line. There is no secret sauce to this business, but if you wanted to hang a label on secret sauce or try to find something that you could call a secret sauce, this is about as close as it gets. This is what will make you the most successful coach that you can possibly be, because it teaches you, not forces you. It teaches you and allows you to actually have a relationship and a connection. You've got skin in the game, they've got skin in the game. And I promise you, when you have these conversations, you get vested in what it is that they want. And the whole thing that we talked about earlier about feeling salesy or coming across as a salesperson, that all disappears because they're going to
trust factor there.
Yeah, exactly. Trust factor. They're going to leave that conversation feeling, wow, this person really cares about me. Like, this person's really invested in getting me down these 30 pounds, and they know my deep, dark insecurities and feelings behind this. And if you're sharing yours with them, then it's like you have this immediate, instant bond. I've seen this happen with people that don't know each other that well, and I've seen it happen with people that know each other for years that just never had that kind of a conversation. This is the secret sauce, if you're looking for one, or closest to it, to helping you be successful. And it's amazing the feeling that you're going to get when you are able to help that person get to that finish line, lose the 10 or 15 or 30 pounds, or maybe it's a year and a half long journey and they're losing 100 or even more than 100 pounds. That, you cannot put a price tag on that emotion that you're going to get and that they're going to get. And 9 times out of 10, those people turn around and want to be coaches because they have fallen in love with the process. They've fallen in love with what they got from you, and they want to pay it forward, which is why I'm guessing most of you are in this training right now, because you were once customers who are now wanting to do whatever your coach or we did for you. So now you understand that bond that maybe you had with us, or maybe the bond that you had with your coach that put you in this training. And maybe you're sitting there thinking, wow, I could have even had a closer bond with these people had I opened up to them, whether it be us or your coach. So now is your chance to do it over again and pay it forward for somebody else and have the real talk. You do that, and I promise you, you're going to make money much faster in these first couple of weeks, and you're going to be able to get your Shakeology paid for. You're going to be able to start hitting some of the financial goals that we talked about when you filled out that 7-day quick start. So I'm telling you guys, I'm giving you permission to get uncomfortable, get out of your comfort zone, go to some of these people in your warm market on your list, the list that you've created in the last couple of days.
Those are the easiest.
Those are the easiest. Like, these are the people you already know that you can feel comfortable enough with to say, hey, can we have a real conversation, after you've asked them to join you on the co-pilot or the account or the challenge group or whatever. Now, we're going to get into this later on in some other training, so I want you to focus on this, because down the road, in the next week or so, we're going to talk about having you start to form relationships outside of this warm market, so that when you're done helping those people, you've already got a list of new people that you've got to know that you can then move on to, so that you never hit a lull, or that your lulls are minimal, so that you're constantly finding and growing your challenge groups and stuff like that. But for right now, I want you to start reaching out to those people in your friends and family group and start figuring out who could be your co-pilot or who could join you on a challenge group, and then I want you to sit down or get on the phone with them and have a real conversation and let us know. Send us the names of 3 people, either us or the coach that put you in this group. Send us the names of at least 3 people that you're going to reach out to and invite to a challenge group, and you're going to try to have a real conversation with. At least 3. If you can send us 5 to 10, that's even better. But I want at least 3 names to us or the coach that put you in this group. And we'll talk to you guys later. See you later.